marketing staff in SteelSeries is, I think, 14 people by now who report to me. 95% of them are people who came from like the gaming circle, who have either been like engaged in community work at various community sites in gaming, or have competed on a very high level themselves. It's kind of a mix. We make products that we would want to use ourselves. Let me give you an example. The very first product that SteelSeries ever did was a mousepad made of glass. People thought we were freaking insane because we made a mousepad made of glass. But when we made it, it made a lot of sense. The final surface was researched by a guy who played Quake on a pretty high level in Denmark. And he had this problem that every week he had to turn his mouse around. Back then everyone was using a ball mouse. Optical mice hadn't been invented yet. And he had to clean it. He had to clean out all the gunk from the mouse. And every time he did that, he felt like he had a new sensitivity. It was like getting a new mouse. That was throwing off his aim. So he came up with a surface that was dust repellent, which turned out to be glass. So he didn't have to clean his mouse all the time. That is something we have applied to every single product we have done ever since. It has to have a purpose. When we really dived into mice, it came down to basically three things. There's form. When is a mouse comfortable? How does people hold a mouse? How big does it be? What is the average hand size? The average hand size in US and in Asia and Europe is not the same. How do people hold a mouse? What type of games do people play? There was a lot of things to like really learn about how to operate a mouse. It came down to technology. At what point does technology become bulletproof? At what point can't you move a mouse like too fast to make it stall? And that took a while to actually get to a point where we felt comfortable releasing a mouse because technology wasn't there when we began. And then functionality. At what point can you apply feature sets and functionality into a mouse that actually makes people more accurate? That took us 3.5 years to get that right. So we did a couple of things with 7G. Again, simple thing. We just sat down and like applied our logic to a product. So if we take a keyboard, how can we improve it? And there were like a number of areas where we felt we could make it better. One would be durability. The keys on the 7G are mounted on a metal plate. The plastic itself, when we melt that, the granulate, actually contains iron. I mean, it's built like a tank. That's also why when you lift it, it's really freaking heavy. Which also makes the purpose that you don't want your keyboard moving when you're actually using it. That's not the purpose of a keyboard. We looked at the feeling. How could we make it comfortable but also fast? And how do you make a keyboard fast? Two ways. Like the pathways you have inside the keyboard, we could optimize those. So one, it has 1 millisecond of delay. That's nothing. And two, you can take the 7G and you can hold down every single key at the same time and it will keep working. A normal keyboard would be like 2 or 3 keys at the time and then you get like the beep sound from your computer. When you have a normal keyboard, a membrane keyboard, the way it works is that you press a key and you press it all the way down. When you press the key all the way down, there is a thin layer of film underneath. The key will make contact with it and then send an impulse to the computer, hey, I'm pressing F. When you do that to a mechanical keyboard, there's a switch, roughly 48 to 50% of the travel distance of the key. You don't actually have to press the key all the way down. That's also why when you use the 7G and you're like a really good real-time strategy player where everything is measured in actions per minute, we have players that go up to 420 to 450 actions per minute. That is so insanely fast that I can't even come close to doing that personally. But for that guy, it's really, really important. I like pushing the envelope. Like, I love the fact that I'm in a company where everyone is so dedicated and so passionate that we can sit down and start developing like a mouse. And it takes us 3.5 years to finish it because we want to get it just right. Where we change the way technology works to accommodate what we believe that would make someone a better gamer. Instead of rushing something to the market in 9 or 18 months or whatever to fill a price point position somewhere in the market. I love that we don't cater to the lowest common denominator, that we don't just make it like glow green. to make it glow green, but instead we focus on adding quality switches and like components that we know will last 10 years. Things that will make you faster and better instead of just doing stuff for the sake of doing stuff. That's what I like.